has like this Conor McGregor fight in July is going to be fucking bananas. It's going to be bananas. I mean, people are going to go crazy for the return of Conor McGregor because he's a giant personality.
But don't expect the same.
How could
he just can't?
He hasn't fought in 5 years, right?
But that's the problem.
It might be more
because they're going to all expect that.
I think it is a little over 5. It's almost 6. I think
it might be 6 at the time of the fight.
It might be. I think it's 5. I think it's 5 right now.
Are we expecting to see a Conor that looked like Nate this last fight? Or are we expecting to see a better Conor than someone that looked like Nate? Because Nate did not look good.
No, but Mike Perry did. And Mike Perry looked like a fucking murderer.
You know what I mean? Like
Mike Perry is a murderer.
He's a murderer.
And this is
such a savage.
You take a look at that.
A prediction. A finish, bro. Mystic Max is feeling a finish, bro. Finish, bro.
See. But yeah, I guess the other part too. Like if Max goes in there and puts a beating on him, is this the last time you see Conor? I mean, I doubt it. I suspect he'll try and like find another way to keep this train on the tracks. But like, what if he goes in there?
That's a great point.
Like shit, you know.
That's a great point because is he the type of personality? Now he has lost, and he lost devastatingly to Dustin Poirier in the way, you know. But there was an injury. If he just gets outworked, you know, knocked out, just outworked, like. Can he live with that? Like, that's the thing. I'm like, is he going to be like, no, now we're going to see Conor want to turn around and come back in there quicker, you know, like, you know, within months, you know, that type of thing, because he just doesn't want to live with that. That'd be interesting to see too, if it happens.
How do you see this going? Can Conor do anything with, you know, the fighter you're probably more familiar with than anyone in Max Holloway?
Well, we know that, you know, Conor hasn't been in the game for a long time. And I think a lot of people are thinking that he's just going to lose everything, but that's not the case. He's going to be dangerous. He's obviously going to still be very sharp. Numbers out, I mean,
all right. What did you make of Max's energy? The interview that you did with Rogan on Sunday, he's very confident.
A bit rude, wasn't it? He's confident. I didn't see that.
You didn't
look, Max is all right. Max is good. Max is my son. I sunned Max when we fought those years ago, and I'm going to do so again.
He's gotten a lot better since you last fought. Would you not agree?
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't see much.
Since 2013.
No, I don't see much. I don't see much difference now.
Really?
No, not so much. Same reaction, same movements. Listen, Max got better after he fought me. He added more moves to his game, but even still, there's only one. So I'm not going to say I don't rate him. I don't rate any of them. So it's on me now, with my date set, to go and show that, and that makes me happy.
I don't know. I'm still kind of. I guess it didn't really hit me yet. You know, it didn't really hit me because there was big announcements. We talked a little bit about it. Big announcements this last week, but it didn't really boom on me yet. Like, is this really happening? McGregor and Holloway too is really happening.
The return of Conor McGregor.
And this time, this time I welterweight, Henry. Let's welterweight, not featherweight. This time it's going to be at welterweight.
Holloway versus McGregor, International Fight Week. This is the fight that makes sense. I talked to Max Holloway the other day. I posed this question to him. Do you want to fight Conor? And Max said to me versus McGregor. This is the fight that I want. I am training right now because it's all I want. And when we fought, I was a little boy. Could you ever have imagined losing the BMF title?
Conor McGregor's name is dominating the conversation again. But this time, insiders say it doesn't feel like another headline designed to disappear a few weeks later. This doesn't look like another retirement reversal, another social media storm, or another promise that never reaches fight night. Something about this feels different, because after more than a decade, McGregor appears ready to step back into the cage with Max Holloway. And judging by the way he's talking, whatever respect remained after their first clash in 2013 may have been replaced by something far more personal. McGregor hasn't danced around the subject either. He reportedly made it crystal clear exactly how he sees this fight ending. No carefully crafted sound bites. No polite promoter-friendly answers. Just a direct warning that immediately set the MMA world on fire. And that's what has people paying attention. Fighters talk constantly. Fans hear predictions every single week. Most of it sounds rehearsed, calculated to sell pay-per-views and fuel a media cycle. This felt different. It sounded less like promotion and more like a man replaying a future scenario in his head over and over again until he became convinced it was inevitable. And he wanted everyone else to see it the same way. But here's where the story becomes even more compelling. The men who first met inside that octagon in 2013 no longer exist. Back then, McGregor was still climbing. A dangerous featherweight prospect with everything to prove and very little to lose. He was chasing recognition, building the aura that would eventually transform him into one of combat sport's biggest attractions. Holloway, meanwhile, was still a young fighter searching for validation, trying to convince the division that he belonged among the elite. Fast forward more than 10 years, and both careers have taken dramatically different paths. Holloway has assembled a resume many believe is worthy of all-time greatness, delivering unforgettable performances and establishing himself as one of the most feared and respected strikers the sport has ever seen. McGregor, on the other hand, became something far bigger than a champion. He became a global phenomenon. Yet alongside the fame came long absences, outside ventures, endless headlines, and chapters that seemed to pull him further and further away from the path that once crossed Holloway's. Which is exactly why many believe this rematch represents something much larger than striking exchanges or tactical adjustments. This is about legacy. It's about two men returning to the scene of an unfinished story after spending more than a decade building entirely different lives, only to find themselves standing across from each other once again. Of course, skill will matter. Nobody is denying that. But the emotions surrounding this fight may matter just as much. Because there is history here. There are old memories, unanswered questions, and perhaps unfinished business. And now, after years of separate journeys, those paths are about to collide once again under the brightest lights possible. The only question left is whether this long-awaited second chapter finally delivers closure or creates an even bigger controversy.
And then it's nothing, it's just words. I'll say something now, I've got my date to show it, and that is when I'm going to show it.
Are you looking forward to Fight Week, the press conference, all the stuff that you haven't had a chance to take part in? Do you miss all of that?
I am ready for it. Because that can be taxing, but I am ready for it. That takes it out here. But I'm ready for it, and what I am most looking forward to is the bout, the walk, the fight, the announcement, the crowd, the exchanges, and the dominating performance that I plan to put on.
When something's taken away from you, you may appreciate it more when it's given back. So just being there with John, being there with the team, like you're riding again. There's a nostalgic feeling to all of this.
Sure. Oh, the morale in the gym is very nice. It's very good.
Conor McGregor made it very clear that he wasn't impressed by the confidence Max Holloway has been carrying into this potential rematch. And to be fair, self-belief has never been unusual for Holloway. For years, he's walked through the sport with the composure of someone who knows exactly who he is. He's measured in interviews, rarely emotional, rarely shaken. The kind of veteran who prefers to let 5 rounds inside the cage speak louder than anything said outside of it. But according to many observers, something about Holloway's recent comments seemed to strike a nerve with McGregor. The moment surfaced when Ariel Helwani referenced remarks Holloway had made during a conversation with Joe Rogan. At first, McGregor appeared amused. He laughed, tossed out a playful comment about Holloway's mindset, and for a brief second it sounded like harmless banter between two fighters with history. There was even a grin, almost as if he wanted the exchange to come across as lighthearted. But then, everything changed. Within seconds, the mood shifted. The smile faded, the jokes disappeared, and McGregor's real feelings appeared to surface. Suddenly, it no longer sounded like promotional back and forth. It sounded personal. The playful tone gave way to something noticeably colder, as McGregor dismissed much of the growing excitement surrounding Holloway heading into a possible second meeting. And that's where this rivalry becomes far more interesting. Because Holloway's resume speaks for itself. Years of dominance, championship success, victories over elite competition, a reputation built on consistency, durability, and a striking style many analysts consider among the finest the featherweight division has ever witnessed. He's become the blueprint for relentless volume striking, a fighter whose pace has broken opponents mentally as much as physically. Even deep into championship rounds, Holloway has repeatedly shown an engine that simply refuses to slow down. Nobody disputes that. Not fans. Not analysts. And likely not McGregor himself. But McGregor appears uninterested in discussing accomplishments. From his perspective, none of the titles, accolades, highlight finishes, or years of success change the fundamental picture. Insiders say McGregor still sees the same opponent he faced more than a decade ago. Strip away the championship reigns. Remove the records. Ignore the standing ovations and career milestones, and McGregor seemingly believes he's still looking at the exact same fighter he defeated years earlier. Unsurprisingly, those comments ignited immediate debate. Many fans viewed the remarks as dismissive, even disrespectful. Others saw them as classic McGregor, another calculated attempt to seize control of the narrative before fight night ever arrives. Because throughout his career, McGregor has rarely offered genuine praise to the man standing opposite him. Psychological warfare has always been part of the formula. Whether this is authentic confidence or another carefully orchestrated mind game remains unclear. Only McGregor truly knows. But one thing is certain. People are talking. Clips are spreading across social media. Analysts are dissecting every word, and the anticipation surrounding this rematch continues to intensify before a single punch has even been thrown. That's been McGregor's blueprint from the very beginning. Say the line everyone repeats, dominate the conversation, and let the chaos build itself. The question now is whether those words come back to haunt him once the cage door finally closes.
What did you make of Max's energy? The interview that you did with Rogan on Sunday? He's very confident.
A bit rude, wasn't it? He's confident. I didn't see that. Look, Max is all right. Max is good. Max is my son. I sunned Max when we fought those years ago, and I'm going to do so again.
He's gotten a lot better since you last fought. Would you not agree?
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't see much.
Since 2013?
No, I don't see much. I don't see much difference, no.
Really?
No, not so much. Same reaction, same movements. Listen, Max got better after he fought me. He added more moves to his game, but even still, there's only one. So I'm not going to say I don't rate him. I don't rate any of them. So it's on me now, with my date set, to go and show that. And that makes me happy.
So where does all of this leave the fans, analysts, and former fighters trying to predict what actually happens if these two finally meet again? Completely divided. On one side, there are plenty of people who believe Conor McGregor still has one unforgettable performance left in him. One last eruption. One final night where the version of McGregor that once terrorized entire divisions suddenly reappears and reminds the world why he became one of the biggest stars combat sports has ever seen. After all, he's built a career on proving doubters wrong. Time and time again, McGregor walked into fights as the underdog on paper only to leave with the entire sport talking about him afterward. And for many longtime fans, those memories are impossible to ignore. Anyone who watched McGregor's rise through the featherweight and lightweight ranks understands why writing him off completely feels dangerous. The sport has changed. The years have passed. The division has evolved. But some believe that kind of timing, precision, and fight-ending power never truly disappears. Then there's the other side of the debate, and honestly, it's equally compelling. Because Max Holloway presents a nightmare that few fighters have ever managed to solve. His pressure is relentless. His output rarely slows. Round after round, minute after minute, he forces opponents into uncomfortable territory. And once a contest moves into championship rounds, that pressure can become suffocating. 5 rounds changes everything. Cardio matters. Pace matters. Experience matters. Especially when that experience has been earned against elite competition over years of championship battles. On paper, many analysts argue those are areas where Holloway may hold a significant advantage. He's built an entire career around breaking opponents gradually, dragging them into deep waters, and turning fights into exhausting wars of attrition almost by design. That's what makes this matchup so fascinating. Nobody truly knows which version of this story unfolds once that cage door shuts. Maybe fans witness the explosive McGregor of old, the devastating finisher capable of ending a fight with a single perfectly timed strike. Maybe Holloway slowly takes control, overwhelming his rival with endless volume until the final horn sounds. Or maybe the biggest twist hasn't even entered the conversation yet. And that's the real reason the entire MMA world can't stop talking about this fight. The uncertainty is genuine. For once, there isn't a clear answer. There isn't a consensus. There are only questions, theories, and a growing sense that something unforgettable could happen when these two finally stand across from each other again. Now we want to hear from you. Who walks out of that cage victorious? Does McGregor deliver one last iconic finish? Does Holloway outlast him over 5 brutal rounds? Or does this rivalry produce a shocking ending nobody sees coming? Drop your prediction below and tell us exactly how you think it ends.